Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Learn more about the Experience community at our website, local.theexperience.video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Experience is brought to you each week by these great sponsors. Present Gifting believes relationships are important. Moments matter. Join the early VIP access list at presentgifting.com. Jim Coleman Insurance, personal and business lines of insurance. Call the office at 541-753-2500 and learn more online at jimcoleman.com. Capital Mortgage Source. Your trusted mortgage professional is just a click away. Learn more at capitalmortgagesource.com and call the office at 541-829-8042. Join Bosa Health in supporting Kicking Cancer, empowering individuals and their families to thrive in their cancer journey. Learn more at kicking-cancer.org. And now let's get on with the show.
On with the show. Good morning. Welcome to the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. Another amazing day. Scott, how are you doing?
I was just, as we say, get on with the show. It just reminded me of those Saturday mornings growing up with Looney Tune cartoons.
Yes, I love Saturday mornings. I do.
Those are great.
Well, it's funny nowadays. I'm not really a big TV watcher unless I find a series that I really like to watch. And then I don't know if we exactly binge watch it, but kind of, we watch episode after episode, night after night. And so I'm very intentional about what I watch. I don't just sit there and look at TV. But yes, we're rewatching right now The Mentalist for about the third time.
Okay.
Love that show, and I've already seen the entire series 3 times before. I think actually we're on our 4th time because you let a year or two pass, and then there you go. But
yeah, it's kind of fun.
Nothing to do with the experience here on the show, but I just thought I'd throw that out there for whatever.
Well, there are some things that are universal that video. So on the average, Americans watch 5 hours of video every day. What I encourage you to do is to not watch broadcast television, to cancel your Netflix, and just subscribe to The Experience. Go to theexperience.video, subscribe. We've been doing this. This is now our 6th year. I had to say that right. 6th year. Wow.
Amazing. It's hard to believe it's been that long. I think most of the video I watch is with you when we're doing it.
So I encourage people, because we've got great people. So Janet McConnell, people are going to want to subscribe to her YouTube channel. I have just been introduced to her recently and subscribed to her YouTube channel. She talks a lot about fitness over 50. And turns out both Russ and I fit into that category. And if you don't, you will soon.
Yes. And you know what? It's so important to take good care of yourself. And she is amazing at that. So we'll talk more about that. But I just want to remind everybody, like Scott said, you can go to the experience.video to go to our YouTube page and subscribe. But better yet, go to local.theexperience.video for all the information about Scott and I, not just this show, but our other shows and our books and our websites. You can always go to russhedge.com or dscottsmith.com, but the local.theexperience.video brings all of that together and ships you out where you need to be. So that is so great to do. So we appreciate you, and we really appreciate engagement and subscriptions to our YouTube page. So thank you for doing that today. Yes. And if you want to binge, like Scott said, binge The Experience. We've got amazing episodes with the most remarkable people, like Scott says, right, Scott?
We've got 5 full years of guests on the show. Every one of them brings valuable information, just insightful perspectives, things that you can apply to your life and make your relationships better, make you feel better about yourself. You'll be more efficient at work. I mean, it's all right here on The Experience Live with Russ and Scott every week. And it's made possible because we've got great sponsors like Jim Coolman, Capital Mortgage, Boson Hub, supporting Perspectives on Cancer, and Present Gifting.
Yes. And also, not only can you be a sponsor, in fact, all of those sponsors have been on The Experience Live with Russ and Scott, but also that we are listener supported. And if you look up in the corner there, there is a QR code, and the actual link will be in the comments. And you can today give whatever you call. Scott calls it the tip jar.
The tip
whatever
jar.
you would like towards our expenses for broadcasting, and there are many. So we appreciate that so much, because it allows Scott and I, with what we're really passionate about, to get a good message out there, not only about what we're doing, but what other amazing people are doing. Great value for you, and just we're thankful to God every day for that, right, Scott?
Oh, absolutely. Go to local.theexperience.video, and it just says, there's a little line there. It says, click here if you want to contribute. One-time deal. You can do an automatic thing. And we have some expenses. We also make an investment. And one of those investments is in Everly. And she is in the Philippines. She does so much work for us. And she is a team member. She is not a virtual assistant. She is a team member, and does so much, all the graphics, the little video things that you find on Instagram. She's just doing amazing stuff, and we're grateful for her and her support of The Experience.
Oh my goodness. I could not even begin to tell you how thankful I am forever, and that we are for all that she does. So amazing. So, that's why, and the reason we look at her really as, like Scott said, a teammate, because she does way more than I do. I can tell you that. So I just appreciate all that she does. Anyway, Scott, I think we need to move on.
Let's get on with the show.
So Janet McConnell is amazing. We're going to bring her in and let her tell you all about herself. Good morning, Janet.
Good morning. How are you? Thank you so much.
We're grateful to have you here today, and it's been great to meet you. And I mentioned that I really like the content that you're putting out. So helpful and practical information.
Well, thank you. That's a win, because that's what I'm going for. I want to be the voice for people over 50 who are looking for improving their wellness, their fitness, mental, physical, everything, and to not have to rely on all of the cascade of information out there that could be coming from, somebody who's 20 years old and super enthusiastic, bouncy, golden retriever energy, but maybe isn't quite what you want that day.
Well, and you are really truly reaching people, because, as I look at your YouTube page, you're approaching 5,000 subscribers. So you've got a lot of people tuning in and really love what you're all about. I subscribed also, and I'm going to check that out. I hadn't had a chance, I'll be honest, hadn't had a chance to check the videos out, but they look so cool. I'm going to do it right after we get off here. So Janet, give everybody a little insight. Scott and I know the amazing things you're doing. Give everybody a little insight on who is Janet, what are you up to, what's going on?
Okay, like a little 2-minute introduction.
You have all the minutes you want. Go for it.
Okay. Well, I'm Janet McConnell, as he said, and I'm a healthy longevity advocate and an educational speaker from the stage, a published author, a senior division national champion bodybuilder, and I'm turning 70 in 2 months and 1 week. And the truth is, none of this, what I just told you, was what I envisioned my life to be at the beginning. It's interesting how things turn out when you are a rebellious person. So my journey into this work started after a serious health crisis in my mid-40s. Up until then, I was doing what a lot of you guys are doing, juggling responsibilities, pushing through fatigue, assuming that decline is just, part of getting older. But when my health collapsed, it all changed because I had a choice. I had to accept a trajectory to either go downhill or to rebuild from the ground up. And I chose the second one. And that decision led me into strength training, which transformed not just my body, but my mindset. So over time, I discovered something surprising. The real secret to vitality isn't comfort, it's challenge. Every meaningful breakthrough that my life came after I said yes to something hard and I cast a vote for the future I wanted to experience. And today, I help people over 50 rethink aging altogether. I teach how strength training, recovery, proper nutrition, and what I call intentional challenge can dramatically improve not just your physical strength, but your brain health, your confidence, and your resilience. So, my message is very simple. Aging isn't a slow fade into weakness or a gradual surrender of our freedoms. With the right habits, the right mindset, and telling yourself the right story in here, it can be a powerful second ascent. So, aging strong is your new power move.
I love it. I was just thinking about the diet, and one of the things is so I've radically changed my diet from what it was to what it is, and it's not just eating only salads. In fact, it turns out that that's a bad choice, and I've been following a lot of different people. I have enjoyed yours the most, I will say, as far as finding the right amount of the right types of nutrients. And I'll say protein is one of those, and finding the right sources for that. One of the things that I've just added in the last week is creatine. And so give us some of those practical tips for those of us that are 50 plus.
Okay, well, first of all, that idea that you brought up of nutrition, the reason why I think it's so important for our demographic to hear about that is because we grew up in a time, and especially for you ladies, but guys too, where we knew that if you just crash dieted, you just cut your calories, and you just had a really hard 3 or 4 days, you would lose the weight you needed to lose, and you could fit back into your clothes, and you look great at the beach, and your jeans fit again by skipping meals. And we find out after midlife, that is a reversal. So whenever we skip meals or we have too deep of a calorie deficit, our bodies are intelligent and they fight back. And they say, don't worry, I'll save you. I'll keep this fat that you have around your middle. So now that you're in starvation, you'll stay alive until you get more food. So I've got your back, literally. and so what it does is it jettisons muscle. It's called a catabolic state. And what happens is muscle is a very expensive real estate to maintain on your body. It's high rent property because it takes a lot of calories to keep it there. And if you aren't eating enough calories to make it stay and challenging it to make it realize it has a purpose, then it'll just slip out the back door. So you've lost the weight and you're left with higher body fat percent. So you get that squishy, skinny like skinny fat, where it maybe looks okay if you're squished into your clothes, but it isn't healthy for you because you don't have skeletal muscle, which is the organ of longevity for you to be strong when you're 95. So you mentioned creatine, and that is one of the things that back in the day, we thought of it as something that just bodybuilders took, and that it was kind of almost in the same category as taking steroids or something like that. And that's just not true. It's a supplement, and it is something that we get from animal protein and from dairy, and your body makes a certain amount already. So you have some, but as we get older, we make less of it. and we are more resistant to protein synthesis. So the more protein and the creatine supplement you can work in, up to a point, I mean, there's a range, the better it is. It's easier, so that the work you do for exercise and the building you're trying to do is more highly supported. Did I answer your question?
I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Well, you know, I just find this very interesting because, you know, there's a big move on intermittent fasting.
Mhm.
And so with that, you're skipping meals. But, you know, something else I've also seen, I saw a video the other day, one of those ads. I didn't watch the ad, but you see the first part till you could skip it, you know?
Yeah.
And they were saying on this ad that they wanted to help their dad, who was over 50, get in shape. And this guy said to them, who's giving him advice? Somebody under 20. And he goes, that's the problem, because things are different at different ages. So
Yeah.
Explain to me, you find it better not to do intermittent fasting and things like that when you're over 50 because of the storage factor, keeping that spare tire and all that kind of stuff, right?
Well, let me make a distinction between too steep of a calorie deficit and intermittent fasting, because intermittent fasting doesn't work across the board for everyone. Some people do not react well to it. But you can do intermittent fasting as long as you monitor your calorie intake so that you maintain your caloric intake. And if you're trying to lose weight or lose fat, then go into maybe 100 to 200 calorie deficit consistently over time. And then you're still getting all the nutrients, all the calories you need to maintain muscle. And then what intermittent fasting does in your favor is it does seem to show in the studies that it really does help with metabolic health, especially for people who have a lot of digestive issues, have a lot of like maybe some gut issues, and a lot of maybe carrying weight around their middle. It needs to be done, though, in a very mindful and intentional way. So you can't just, well, I'll just eat at noon. I'll start eating at noon and then I'll stop eating at 6. Okay, that's a start, but you have to make sure the hard part is getting all those calories in only 6 hours or only 8 hours, whatever.
It's like 3 Twinkies. Come on.
Yeah, right. And if you do that, guess what's going to happen? Right. So you especially have to eat very intentionally, getting all of your protein sources, your fiber, for goodness sakes, and all of the phytonutrients and all of the, you know, the things that you need, and even, you know, healthy carbs and healthy fats. So it's actually harder if you do it right than just eating 3 solid meals and 2 snacks a day and don't eat after, 7 o'clock at night. Then your body gets a good 12 hours of cleaning time, because that's what's happening when you're not eating. Is your gut is like the cleaning people come in and sweep and get rid of everything. So 12 hours is long enough, but some people want to experiment, and that's fine. So, but that's the caveat I would give.
Right. Yeah, okay. I like this idea of not following a 20-year-old's routine.
Yeah,
and following something that's and really aligned with whatever the goals are. What are my goals, right?
Right.
And so I did start with my doctor, right, and say, this is what I want to go with. And a part of it was a protein, and I want to have you share with us how much protein and what type of protein do you get, and how that works, and timing of meals. And one of the things that the doctor told me was, if you're going for a high protein, low carbohydrate type of diet, which I will say has worked for me, been working well for me, make sure you get lots of fluid, drink lots of water.
Yes, it's important. Well, and that's important anyway, because your kidneys and your liver are working hard along with your stomach and your intestines, and they need water to have enough. It's like throwing your clothes in the washer, putting in the soap, and then adding a cup of water. Well, what's going to happen? So you need to make sure there's enough in there. to make it work. And so the amount of protein, it's funny you're asking this because I just recorded a video about that. And
I watched that video.
yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah. And so generally speaking, obviously there's a range of how much protein you should have. And it is influenced by your age, your weight, your size, and also your training goals and where you're going and what you're doing to get there. All of those things come into play. So to start with, just to get people out of the starting block, the recommendation in the science, because in the show notes of that episode, I have quoted scientific studies from the last 3 years that say, here it is. It's 1.7 to 1 pound, 1 gram, 1.7, I'm sorry, 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of goal weight. So let's say if you weigh 200 pounds and you want to get down to 180, that's your goal, then 180 is the number you work with to figure out that. So what you want to do is multiply 0.7 and figure it or divide it into 180 so you know how much you need to eat for the low end, and then times 1, which would be 180 grams, would be your high end. And so you want to be somewhere in that range. But if you've classically been eating low on your protein, don't start at the top end. It's like doubling your dose, and it's a little hard to digest if your body's not used to it. So start at the bottom end and do that for a few weeks, see how you feel, then add a little bit, see how you feel. And you can find your sweet spot on your own if you just give it time and patience and be consistent. So don't get to the weekend and go, okay, all bets are off, I'm going to do what I want, and then start in again on Monday. So your body is like, I want to do this, but you've got to work with me. So that's the general recommendation. Competitive bodybuilders go more on the high end, like 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. And even a little higher for some of the guys. I mean, when you think about it, some of the bodybuilding dudes who are 260 pounds, guess how much protein they're eating? A lot. So it's a lot of chewing. And I want to add to Scott, D. Scott's comment there. The idea of what you said, what's working for you is higher protein and lower carb. That is a really, the carbs can be, you don't have to necessarily go into ketosis like an Atkins type, but you can, you can even like float just above it. But one of the best diets that I have discovered, and I got this from several different health influencers out there, it's this. This is it. Meat, fish, eggs, vegetables, a little bit of fruit, and a little bit of Greek yogurt. And that's it. Water and coffee. So what did I leave out? Alcohol, obviously.
Right.
And juices, because they don't have the fiber in them and it's high glycemic. And things like pasta, pizza, all of that.
Yeah, it was a bread, pasta, potatoes, and rice.
Yeah.
Right. So I make stir fry, but I don't use rice.
Right. And you can get your carbs from sweet potatoes. Actually, potatoes are okay, because they are a starchy vegetable and they do burn slower. Rice is a little more high glycemic, but sweet potatoes, squash, I get all of my carbs from that. And then from blueberries, I use blueberries as my fruit. So I lost 15 pounds last fall. I'm starting to get ready for my next bodybuilding show. And I always let myself get a little fluffy when I'm off season. So it's time to tighten it up and get stricter standards. So I lost 15 pounds. Here I am at age 69. I lost 15 pounds in 90 days just doing that.
And how tall are you? Just so people get a...
I'm 5'8". I'm
Okay.
5'8", and I weighed 185 on September 1st. And now I weigh 167. So I lost a few more pounds since then. Just it slows down. You get a lot of loss at first, and then it kind of levels off, and it tempts you to quit. And if you keep going, you'll keep losing. So yeah.
Well, you're making me feel good right now because because of my cancer journey and my diabetes, I've got a lot of advice as far as what I eat. And so far, what you mentioned, I eat all that stuff. And,
Mhm.
but once in a blue moon, so tell people, okay, once in a blue moon, you think, man, I got to have some pizza or I've got to have something, I mean, is that okay for people that are eating good in general? They
Mhm.
kind of once in a while saying, I'm going to have a chocolate bar, or I'm going to have a little scoop of ice cream, or I'm going to have some pizza just to give themselves a little treat, or should they stay completely away from that stuff?
Well, to your point about diabetes and how what I'm saying matches with what you do. When I read a book about diabetes, because I had a fitness client who had diabetes and needed some guidance, I read it and I thought, this is what everybody should be eating, not just because you have diabetes. It'll keep
Right.
you from getting it, and it'll help you if you have it. But to the point of, oh, for sure. One of the things I did in planning that 90 days is guess what day it ended on? Thanksgiving. So I did have pumpkin pie. I did have, the stuffing and all the yummy, the very rich, calorie rich, but delicious foods. And then the next week I went back into my zone again. I had gained a pound or two and it just came right off with no struggle. And then I kind of maintained through December, through all the parties and, the champagne toasts and all of that. And then when January came, then I realized, okay, I have to be really careful about when I have those little cheats, because it is so for the regular person who's not getting ready for a bodybuilding stage, you could probably plan it like a treat or two every weekend, but keep a lid on it. Don't go wild, because
Yeah.
Sunday morning is coming. And if you have a goal, you have a goal. Now for bodybuilders, we have to go when it depends on how close you are to the date, but the closer you are, the tighter the screws. There's no room for error, because when you're up on that stage wearing dental floss and sequins in hot lights with a bunch of judges staring at you, you want to have every bit of cellulite.
Now you're making the audience imagine Russ in sequins. So I know we're going to have to wrap up here. One of the things that this just to close that part out is portion control as well, right?
Right.
So this is like, so I'll go to a restaurant with some friends that has, pizza, but you can get by the slice. So I can get a slice of pizza and a Greek salad, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And so I have, you get the fun. I'm enjoying it with friends, but it's not half a pizza during one sporting game.
Right. Yes. And a trick with that, if you're going out to a dinner where that's going to be happening, have a protein shake a half an hour before you go. And that way you're not just like an animal where you want to just eat everything in sight. You don't grab the bread basket as soon as they set it down. So go in with just take the little edge off a little bit, and you have better control if that's an issue for you. And yes, you portion control. If you eat your protein first and then your vegetables, then you will have better control on the garlic mashed potatoes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I am actually blessed by a negative, and that is being a type 1 diabetic and being insulin dependent,
Right.
and having my CGM on all the time that is telling me where my blood sugar is. It
Mhm.
helps me tremendously with portion control, because as I am eating, I'm watching my blood sugar. And so I know, oh, time to stop. I can't eat any more of that. So, but anyway, listen, Janet, we could talk forever. Amazing. We need you to give us your gold nugget of today, what you really, really want people to remember from today's conversation, and then let everybody know how they get in touch with you again.
Okay. Well, I would say if I could have a billboard put up in my town with my picture on it, and this is Janet's quote, what it would say is, every day you're casting votes for your future self. Who are you voting for? The evidence is in your actions. And so that's like, that's powerful. I think, and people can get in touch with me. The best way is on my YouTube channel, as was discussed at the beginning. And that is Aging Strong for Life. If you just type that into the search window on YouTube, Aging Strong for Life. And then if you want to, also LinkedIn, just my name. So I'm there all the time. And then if you want to contact me another way, my email is janet.mcconnell@gmail.com.
Janet.mcconnell@gmail.com. We'll make sure and get that. And as you see, magically, that's all appeared below you on the screen. But also, everybody, guess what? It's all clickable, which means you can just click on it. You don't have to remember Aging Strong for Life. Just click on that baby and it'll take you right to her YouTube page. So today, please reach out to Janet. Janet's so amazing. Scott, you had something else to say?
Oh, I was just going to say that subscribing to the channel helps. And hire a coach. We're always very supportive of coaching. Every coach should have a coach, but every one of us needs that help. You can try to make this journey on your own, but isolation is the killer. That accountability that you get with a coach and expertise that's going to help you adapt to your body, to your lifestyle, and to your goals, so important. Just reach out to Janet.
I'm so pleased to hear you say that, because I'm a fitness coach. I have clients, and guess what? I have a coach.
That's right. There we go.
We all need it for sure. Because anybody who thinks they don't need a coach and don't need improvement, better evaluate where they are, because our entire life we need that. We need accountability. We need a coach. We need somebody there. So, Janet, amazing as always. We'll have to have you back another time. You're just always full of great information. We're going to send you to the green room and say goodbye on screen, but hang tight for a sec. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
See you later, Janet.
Okay.
Wow. Amazing. She's got great information, and those videos look awesome. I have to check that out when we get off here today.
Yeah. It's really good. It's practical advice. It's not hype. She's not trying to sell products. They're just trying to help you reach your goals. And I appreciate that it's not hyped and trying to get me to be a 20-year-old, which, by the way, I don't want to be 20 again.
Yeah, you and me both, for sure. I tell you, you got to enjoy the time of life that you're at currently. And we just want to thank everybody again today for being here. We're here at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9 a.m. Texas Standard Time every week on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, with the most amazing guests, and is also converts to video podcast when we're done. It sits on LinkedIn and YouTube forever, Facebook for 30 days. Please subscribe to our YouTube page. And how do you do that? Well, you go to local.theexperience.video is the best place to go for everything, but you go straight to the experience.video, which will take you to our YouTube page. Then it converts to audio podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, on and on and on, iHeartRadio. So check that out. If you don't have time to watch, you can listen. Please comment and like and share, no matter where your favorite platform is. We'd really appreciate that. And with that, Scott, I think we're done for another day.
I'll just remind people tomorrow morning, Marketing with Russ. And in the evening, in the late afternoon, it is Russ Reels. Going to be a fabulous show. Friday morning, it is the Global Tea Break International Networking, globalteabreak.com, always free. And check us out at local.theexperience.video.
Yes, please do, for sure. And super excited about all of that. Until next time, we'll see you next week, Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Texas Standard Time. Until then, we'll see you later. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.